Colonel, you're ex-mafia, for Christ's sake.
Yo, don't take the Lord's name in vain.
Number 10, Kurt Russell, The Hateful Eight.
I know you too. We shared a steak dinner once upon a time in Chattanooga. You John Roof the hangman.
That'd be me.
Coming into 2015's The Hateful Eight, Jennifer Jason Leigh couldn't play the guitar, but when she was asked to play one for a scene, she learned on a vintage one from the 1800s that was lent to them from the Pennsylvania Martin Guitar Museum. Leigh was probably scared and delighted by the honor. Then, after all that learning, she was ready to shoot the scene, and then Kurt Russell grabbed the instrument and turned it into splinters. Yikes.
Give me that guitar. Music time's over.
The legendary actor didn't know it was the real Gibson at the time. He assumed it was a prop. Instead, Russell just destroyed a $40,000 worth piece of musical history. Unsurprisingly, the museum decided not to rent out its artifacts to studios anymore.
And he said, "What do you think?" And I said, "It's beautiful." And he said, "Well, I'd love you to sing it and play guitar." "Do you play guitar?" And I said, "No."
Number 9, Dakota Johnson and Jamie Dornan, 50 Shades of Grey.
Anastasia.
Christian.
2015's 50 Shades of Grey launched a franchise, giving Dakota Johnson and Jamie Dornan their big breaks. As such, you might assume that they look back fondly on the experience. Some parts maybe, others not so much. And of course, we're referring to the explicit scenes. Johnson spoke about how tedious filming those moments were, and that she and Dornan spent hours simulating the adult act, being very bored. Other times, Johnson found the experience awkward.
I told you, I don't sleep with anyone.
Can we negotiate?
Dornan has also described shooting those scenes as uncomfortable and had to apologize to Johnson regularly. In 2022, Johnson spoke candidly about the chaos behind the scenes as source author E.L. James meddled in the production, changing the film she had first agreed to.
Years after her breakout role in the first film in the trilogy, 50 Shades of Grey, Dakota confesses she, quote, signed up to do a very different version of the film we ended up making.
Number 8, Jessica Alba, Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. This scene is not controversial in the classic sense of what we see on screen. Instead, it's to do with the terrible situation behind the scenes that nearly caused the performer Jessica Alba to walk away from the industry. When shooting 2007's Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, Alba's Sue Storm was fatally stabbed and had intense moments with her family before passing away. According to the actor, the director Tim Story told Alba that her acting was too realistic and asked her to be prettier when she cries. Yikes, misogyny. Story then asked her to make her face flat and they'll add in tears with CGI. Yep, that's what an actor wants. Not to act, but let a computer do it. Number 7, Rupert Grint and Emma Watson, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
I'm Hermione Granger. And you are?
Ron Weasley.
Pleasure.
After starring in the first Harry Potter film in 2001, launching a franchise, and developing lifelong friendships with each other, the time had finally come for Emma Watson's Hermione and Rupert Grint's Ron to kiss for 2011's Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. And both performers hated it. On top of having a bucket of water chucked at them just before, the duo felt more like relatives after growing up together. So you can imagine playing tonsil hockey would be pretty awkward with that perception. And it probably didn't help that the cast, crew, and Daniel Radcliffe, for some reason, were really eager to be on set to watch the smooch be recorded.
I did not make this better because I've been told significantly that I was just being an absolute dick about this and was like, I'm gonna come on set and watch you guys kiss.
Number 6. Jenny Agutter, Walkabout.
Are we superheroes?
I don't know. I hope so.
So do I.
Known today for her work on the TV show Call the Midwife back in 1971, Jenny Agutter was in the film Walkabout, that's often considered a must-watch production by critics. Playing the lead in the Australian-based flick, several scenes involved Agutter going au naturel as director Nicholas Roeg wanted to create a Garden of Eden imagery.
It is the Garden of Eden. It is being able to go back. It is, before one says, why am I naked? It is that time when everything is open and it's beautiful. It should be beautiful.
The problem, especially today, was that Agutter had just turned 16 during filming. The actor has stated she doesn't regret the scene per se. Instead, Agutter views it as the innocent depiction of being clothesless. But she does regret social media jumping on the moments and turning them into a darker, seedier aspect than the original intention.
Put your shirt on.
Divide 37.3.
He hasn't got his shirt on.
He hasn't got a shirt.
He can have mine.
Number 5. Seth Rogan, the 40-year-old virgin.
You know how I know you're gay?
How? How do you know I'm gay?
Because you macrameed yourself a pair of jean shorts.
In recent years, there are probably a few movies Seth Rogan regrets, mostly the ones involving the controversial James Franco. But a particular scene from one of his most famous roles has haunted him, that being from 2005's The 40-Year-Old Virgin. The controversial moment is when Rogan's Cal and Paul Rudd's David are playing video games and bantering about how they know the other is gay. In an interview with GQ in 2019, Rogan mentioned that people who had seen the scene had spoken to him and stated it made them feel terrible as everyone laughed at it in the cinema. This resonated with the actor as it's the last thing he wanted.
Know why you're gay? Because you like Asia.
You guys cool it with the gay.
Number 4. George Reeves, Superman and the Mole Men.
Don't even try to get in there, Benson. Dr. Reed's in charge tonight. He's left orders that no one's to be admitted.
After Superman burst onto the live-action landscape in 1948, George Reeves was handed the titular role in 1951's Superman and the Mole Men. And even back then, apparently, kids tried to replicate what they saw on the screen. In the film, Supes is shot by a baddie, but of course, it does no damage.
Obviously, none of you can be trusted with guns, so I'm going to take them away from you.
According to legend, when Reeves was doing promotional work in character, a boy approached him with a loaded firearm to see if he was bulletproof. Thankfully, the actor managed to talk the kid out of the experiment by claiming the bullet would have bounced off of him but hurt those around him. Reeves then began a campaign for firearm safety to make sure that didn't happen again.
Why don't you just give me that? Just hand me that for 1 minute.
Number 3. Elliot Paige, Juno.
That ain't no Etch-a-Sketch. This is one doodle that can't be undid, Holmes Gillett.
Sometimes moments in film age well and can be enjoyed decades later. Others age like already expired milk left outside in the hot sun. And this moment from 2007's Juno is definitely the latter, especially in lead Elliot Paige's view. The scene involves Jason Bateman's Mark Loring suggesting Madison as a name for the baby he's getting from Juno, only for the teen to question it, as the name sounds...
Isn't that, like, a little... gay?
Paige said in interviews that the comment didn't register at the time, but looking back at it and other films he loved, many were littered with homophobia, transphobia, and biphobia. Paige wanted to do better. When he's since done script readings for Juno, Paige has skipped over the uncomfortable line.
You're mad. Why are you mad?
I'm mad. I'm in a great mood.
Number 2. Jim Carrey, Kick-Ass 2.
Okay, well, when I found you guys online, you were all swapping these awesome origin stories. I mean, Colonel, you're ex-mafia, for Christ's sake.
Yo, don't take the Lord's name in vain.
Following in the footsteps of its predecessor, 2013's Kick-Ass 2 was an action-packed flick that pushed its violence to the forefront. And for some, it was too much, including one of its stars, Jim Carrey. Playing Sal Bertolini, Also known as the bat-wielding vigilante Colonel Stars and Stripes, he had some pretty intense scenes, especially his demise at Mother Russia's hands.
This is how you thought you'd die, Sal? Dressed like an idiot?
But upon its release, Carrey distanced himself from the production he filmed a month before the Sandy Hook Elementary School attack. The tragic event made the comedian and actor change his opinion on graphic movies. Nearing its general release, Carrey tweeted his displeasure at the violence in the film and that he couldn't support it in good conscience.
Carrey doing a stunning about-face, condemning his new movie just weeks before it hits theaters. The superstar speaking out now against the violence portrayed in the film, saying there's just too much of it.
Number 1. Sharon Stone, Basic Instinct.
Why did you think I wouldn't want one?
I told him you wouldn't want to hide.
I have nothing to hide.
One gesture in one film scene has overshadowed Sharon Stone's career for decades, and all because of a massive lie. The moment we're referring to is the infamous leg cross during the interrogation scene in 1992's Basic Instinct, which immediately went down in folklore. After being forced to not wear anything underneath, Stone was told by director Paul Verhoeven that nothing graphic would be seen. However, she was horrified when she saw the scene for the first time in the cinema. On top of telling Verhoeven he should have shown her the incident privately to check if it was okay, Stone slapped Verhoeven for his deception. In 2021, the actor continued her opposition by slating the anniversary director's XXX cut of Basic Instinct.
That's pretty cold, ain't it, lady?
I'm a writer. I use people for what I write. Let the world beware.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.